Hey everybody, welcome back to Northern Lion Plays The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth. We're gonna do a daily challenge today. It's been like, I know that the daily's good today. A bunch of people tweeted me. I mean, only 2 people on my friends list have done it, and they've both done amazingly well. Over 50,000 score is crazy good. I also need to go back and look at the other dailies, because I think that Luke deserves credit where credit is due. Yeah, he was in 25th overall on Saturday. That's pretty amazing. Great score by Mathis, too. And 45th on Friday is also good. 608th the day before is nothing to sneeze at. Of course, I mean, he did die on the one before that, but you can't be a winner every time. We're going to get started here. Sorry I haven't done the past few dailies. I've been away. Today's Sunday. That is correct. Today's Sunday. I've been away since Thursday, so I also wouldn't necessarily expect that this will be the world's best daily, even though Luke and Mathis put down killer scores. I wouldn't necessarily expect the same thing for me. I've been away, and I don't get into too much personal stuff in these videos, because it's not the kind of person I am. Most of the time, I'm like a private person that doesn't, involve too much of their personal life in their professional life. But it's been a hell of a weekend, man. Like, everything's fine, but oh my god, what is going? It's great, but I'm also like, every single room has had a chance to at least damage us so far. It was Cade's birthday on Thursday, so we'd planned to go to Whistler, which is about 2 hours north of Vancouver, and do some skiing, and she was gonna snowboard, and we were just gonna hang out. It's gonna be a nice trip, and it was a nice trip, but like literally about 15 minutes before we were supposed to leave, a medical emergency with the cats prevented itself. I guess a veterinary emergency. Oh god, I'm an idiot. Do not die on this floor. This is just embarrassing. We probably should have used this bomb for proptosis, admittedly, but I am at least thankful that I have spirit hearts. I can use the spirit hearts to actually get proptosis as well, or one of the spirit hearts at least. So sure, let's do that, even though it's a little risky. I'd like to have proptosis early. Yeah, so, I mean, people are going to freak out about that, and that's one of the reasons I didn't want to bring it up, but, the cats are fine, they're at home and doing well, and, there's no real reason to be alarmed anymore, but there was a reason to be alarmed, as we rushed them to the, 24-hour animal hospital, and they had to stay there for a couple days, but they're good. But, it's been stressful, not just because of the financial costs associated with that, but because of the fact that you're like, oh, these things are basically our children, and they're not feeling well right now, and that sucks. But they're good, and we did go to Whistler, and we made it there despite the incredible rush, and we didn't die on the ski hill, which is good. It's actually like a huge mountain. It's not really just like a tiny hill. It's you're up there, man. You are up there. Blue cap, that's pretty good. I have to admit that already I've taken a little damage, and I'm like, is 50,000 even like plausible for us anymore? We're gonna find out, I guess. But yeah, so I guess I wanted to say, like, first off, apologies that there's been a little bit of an interruption in videos. It's been, without exaggerating, probably like the 2 or 3 most stressful days of my life. We did go on kind of like a vacation, but even the vacation is stressful in its own way because you're not at home, and then add on the kind of veterinary emergency that happened at the same time, and it's just like, oh my god. But, and the second thing was like, I guess just to keep people abreast of the situation. Everything's fine now, but yeah, it took it out of me. It was parts of the stress were good, parts of the stress were not good, but it's over now in a positive way, and everybody and also our cats are fine. But that's why there's been a little bit of a perhaps a slight interruption, or at the very least delay in like the time that you would expect videos to come out. And I know that I'm not fishing for like sympathy. I know that people are going to have sympathy for that, and I appreciate that. But we're just going to talk about what's going on in this run here. Remote Detonator is so good, but I'm not sure if we really... Not Remote Detonator is so good. Tier Detonator is so good, but I think we probably want to stick with Book of Belial for the extra deal with the devil chance, I guess, to start with. Scorpio's okay. Yeah, and it's been, I guess the other thing is I'll apologize in advance if I'm horrible at Isaac, because it has been a couple of days. Well, it's been like 4 or 5 days, I guess, since I actually played. When was the last daily? Today's the 17th. I probably played the 13th daily. Yeah, the January 13th, not the 13th daily ever, which would have been on, like, November 14th or something like that. But yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm mostly just happy that everyone's okay, but I might be a little bit out of practice here. Also, like, every muscle in my body hurts. Last time I went skiing was when I was like 12 years old, and you know, the body ages in a good way, but also in a horrible way sometimes. My knees do feel like they're, you know, crumbling Roman columns, you know, not in a good way here. So we picked up Abaddon and Black Powder. I'm pretty stoked about that. Those are both at least half decent, and if we're going to pick up Abaddon, we might as well pay for Black Powder first, assuming that our HP is going to be at max anyway. So, yeah, I mean, without a doubt, our damage is out of control here. I mean, I wasn't expecting it to be a hard daily to do well in, because 100% of the people on my friends list that have done the daily have clocked in with a score that is, like, maybe the highest one that they've ever gotten ever. At least it would qualify to be close to the highest score that I've ever gotten ever, I think. So, this is really going to be one of those ones where, you know, you have to take care of the pennies for the pounds to take care of themselves. And I know that that's a euphemism, not a euphemism, but a sentence at least. A sentiment that I've called into question because I think that it's terrible financial advice. Man, no key in here kind of sucks. Yeah, I'll get hive mind just in case. But I always felt like it was stupid. Take care of the pennies, the pounds take care of themselves. You know, a pound is worth an awful lot more than a penny. So you should take care of the pounds, and then who gives a shit about the pennies? The pennies are not relevant, and also you're mixing currency denominations there, aren't you? I'm a non-denominational person for the most part. Oh, yeah, okay, that explains it. Tech X. But you should take care of the cents, and the dollars take care of themselves, or take care of the pence and the pounds take care of themselves. But we're doing some mixed metaphors over here. But in this case, you know, everybody's going to have a lot of dollars. So the thing that's really going to separate us on the, you know, Forbes richest list is going to be whoever has the most pence. I don't know where, the most pesos, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I didn't really know where I was going with that one. I think we ended up working out fairly well. And that's okay. Tech X, of course, is a disgustingly strong item that is pretty much my end point for any run in which I have the D100 or the D4. It's not even that I love the item, it's just that it's so good that it forces you to love it. Even in situations where you're like, it doesn't look like it's doing that amazing right now. No, it is. Trust me, you'll figure it out. It's gonna get there for you. Pretty much we're already strong enough to kill Mega Satan, which is not really cockiness, it's more like, man, it must, you know, keep getting great. Can I point out also that maybe we found an unintentionally pretty cool synergy with a stat and Tech X? And what I mean by that, I mean, it sounded like I phrased it to be like deliberately kind of mysterious, but no, what I actually mean by that is like, it seems like slow shot speed plus Tech X is awesome because it takes forever for the shot to actually like pass through an enemy, and they probably take way more ticks of damage during that time. Bumbo, look, Bumbo's awesome, dog, but we might be looking for something more immediately amazing. The D4, we already have the end point of the D4. There's no point to taking it a step further, I guess. We will take the D6 over Book of Belial because we don't need Book of Belial. Why am I still using bombs? Just in case we want to use our reroll on a close deal with the devil or something like that, is my thinking. Yeah, we're using a lot of consumables, but we haven't really taken very much damage at all, so I'm feeling pretty solid in that regard at the very least, and this is just, like, disgusting at this point. I do like that decision. I think that was a smart decision to reroll Placenta into Blood Clot. Now we still have, like, permanent Polaroid invincibility active, or if we choose to go with, the negative, or we're forced to go with the negative, then we have that, you know, set up for us as well, but, I think and it's just better, maybe. A small damage upgrade versus HP that we don't really have any extra desire for right now. And because everybody, at least everybody on my list right now, has done so well on this daily, I do want to take the extra time and, you know, get the full exploration bonus. We got tons of time. Boss Rush should be, I mean, I don't want to necessarily call it a joke, but it should be very easy. This is another reroll opportunity for us for sure. Most important thing, man, even, like, Mega Fatty. This might not be the tankiest champion, Mega Fatty, but Mega Fatty is still getting his ass kicked by us here. We got Bad Gas. We got Power Pill, that's fine. We do want to reroll that Cursed Eye as soon as possible. As much as possible. As soon as possible is somewhat irrelevant, I guess. We're safe. Just stand still. And we're good. Okay. Ooh. No, never again. Is this the one that gives us less chance of getting spacebar items in the future? In which case, I'd be very positive. Or is it one of the ones I don't understand, in which case I don't understand it? Or at least remember it. Okay. That was bad damage, and, you know, every little bit of damage is going to hurt us here, but I do appreciate the opportunity to go to the curse room and get back to basically full health. Thanks to Fanny Pack, I think we got an extra key there, too. It doesn't look like we'll probably be able to buy anything from our shop. We already took Infamy from that section. Reroll that. Ah, E. coli. I mean, it's bad, but it's good if we actually do get the opportunity to take the Polaroid. If we take the Polaroid, then we can basically kill any wave. Or any normal enemy that isn't a boss, I guess, very quickly. We're still maybe 4 minutes ahead of boss rush, which are like ahead of my normal splits. 4.5 minutes ahead of boss rush, which is ridiculous. Like, that's insanely good. Obviously, we will take Dead Cat. We took Hive Mind earlier, so the Guppy Dream is still, like, very much within us here. And at this point, we don't have to worry about using Black Powder at all. If we want to use Black Powder, if it seems prudent on, like, some enemies, sure. Some waves. But most of the time, it's probably not going to do too much for us. Isaac's Head. It's not necessarily horrible. Probably should go vertically here instead of horizontally. It should go without saying that at this point the run is like really, really, really good. Especially with the D6 and the knowledge that we'll probably have a deal with the devil coming up on this floor. That's unfortunate. There is definitely an argument to be made for not taking pills in a situation like that, but we're still doing well. Before we do that, let's go to, let's get our D6 charged up. We can get a full D6 charge before the curse room. If there's an active Guppy item, we can re-roll it. And if I had to ballpark it, how do I think I'm doing relative to Illuc and Mathis? We've only taken dumb damage, like, maybe 2 or 3 times. But I think that probably might put us a little bit behind the 8 ball, to be honest with you. I wouldn't be surprised if they were doing a little better on that front. So I'm going to give 1 cent there, just to see if it rerolled. Because I wanted to come in here and see if we wanted anything. And we don't really. We could also buy a reroll for 5 cents, but the average reroll is going to cost us less than 5 cents. So I'm going to go pretty hard financially here, and if we run out... Oh, which we did not. We'll take the Halo. If we run out, then we would use our D6, but that's okay. Of course, we get a bomb right after that would have saved us a little bit of money, but am I happy that we got the Halo out of that? Absolutely. I can't not be happy that we got the Halo out of that. Now, Small Rock? No. 2 golden chests, though, one of which is Head of the Keeper, and one of which is Fate. Admittedly, I'm a little uncomfortable with the amount of HP we've gotten on this floor. We're already up to 3, well, 2 and a presumed red heart coming on the next floor, assuming we don't play a blood bank or something. But I'm really happy with this. I don't know if Head of the Keeper will do anything for us. Luck up, okay, compensates for our luck down. Like, I don't know if it still gives us the chance to get pennies, but I figured it was not worth blowing a reroll on if it gave us a chance to get pennies, which could give us more points, etc., etc. Fate was a no-brainer. We can fly. I'm not that paranoid about red heart containers that I would rather not have the ability to fly in order to ensure that we don't have any excess red heart containers, so it's a positive situation for us for sure. Like, this is an absurdly lucky run. Now we're looking for the, might as well take that in. Now we're looking for the other 2 Guppy items to complete our transformation. These are neither of the other 2 Guppy items, but they are both great. I will take both of them and feel very good about it. And you know what? I feel great about that, too. If you had told me back in, original Isaac that I would reroll an HP upgrade to pick up Wooden Spoon, I would have thought that you were out of your mind. But in this situation, it makes a ton of sense. We definitely... Ooh, that's pretty good. We definitely don't need more HP. We have all of our HP, plus at the very least 8 extra lives with 1 HP. Given our damage, we're fine. Any other attribute is better, except for maybe range, which does nothing for us. So I'll take speed any day of the week here. Not just because it helps us move through the run faster, but of course it augments your dodging capabilities quite a lot. Thanks to our HP being so low, we've also opened up all these boss trap rooms to ourselves, which I really doubt is going to be too much of a way for us to make up points on Mathis or Luke. But I will say, I think a lot of people who are maybe not super experienced in Isaac tend to undervalue items like Sacrificial Dagger. I think they just see it as like a... They see the defensive potential from an orbital like that. They see it as like a pretty fly, plus it does a little bit of damage if you're stupid enough to get hit. When really, what you have to be is stupid enough to try to use it aggressively, and then it pays for itself by basically any conceivable metric extremely quickly. People who are pretty experienced in Isaac tend to know about the quality of an item like Sac Dagger, but some other people may not, so I'll consider it. I don't really want to call it my duty, but I'll consider it, my responsibility to some extent to at least give you my side of things there. I did not take Dunce Cap, which maybe with Tech X was a little short-sighted. Maybe that's actually awesome. That's not too bad. But I figured better safe than sorry, right? Ooh, okay, this is interesting then. No, we didn't get any money from the explosion of the shopkeeper. Otherwise, we could have gotten Chaos. And I have to admit, Chaos is very tempting for me here. I did have some tweets. And if you're going to be mad at me for spoiling the daily, let me remind you how Twitter works. People can just send you tweets of whatever. It's like, my brain reads it in, a fraction of... well, not a fraction of a second. It's kind of unrealistic. But, my brain reads a tweet in like 2 seconds. Now it's my responsibility because I read it. I guess we're just going to go directly to the fight here because I can't really get any money anywhere else. And I'd rather save my reroll for use on Boss Rush, maybe. But, yeah, they said, hey, you should really try to get Godhead on today's daily. And I'm like, okay. I'm guessing that considering the deals with the devil are awesome, the most likely Godhead outcome was probably going to be, from Chaos. Okay, so we can get a better poison ability. Rainbow Baby. A Tears upgrade. Or some Spirit Hearts. I'm actually going to reroll all of them. We got Sissy Longlegs, Holy Water, Nod Leaf, Deadeye. So I will take Deadeye here for the potential for it to really, really up our damage. But it's a little bit of a lark, I'll admit. I'm not sure if it works the way I think it does. But I certainly hope that it does. I assume that every tick of damage after a tick of damage that has actually hit an enemy will do progressively more damage. That's my thinking, at least. But I could be mistaken in that, admittedly. Ooh, thank you, Infamy. Saved me from some very stupid damage there. If I had to guess what I would have taken were it not for the reroll being available, definitely Cricket's Body. It's not a guess. It wouldn't give us any splash damage, but at the very least having the Tears upgrade was worth quite a lot. But we are firing, like, really quickly in spite of ourselves. Also, I probably shouldn't have called Common Cold a better Tears, or better poison than Scorpio. I don't know if it is or it isn't. I should have said another poison. So, of course, we're definitely going to have a reroll ready for our, the end of our boss rush. At this point, it should be no question. Like, Hush is going to happen. It's going to be very easy. Hush should be the hardest thing on the run, but it'll still be probably extremely easy. I'm just going to try to... Basically, I'm learning now, instead of putting all our eggs in one basket, we should pretty much just be spamming shots out at all times. All enemies except for, like, Gertie spawn in that, like, original corridor, so if we can hit them 3 or 4 times right before they can do anything, then they will die before they can do anything, which is perfect for us. Okay, good setup, good setup. Honestly, I think we're getting kind of close to the end. Oh, Mega Maw spawns up at the top here as well. I think we're getting fairly close to the end of the boss rush here. This would make it certainly one of the fastest we've ever had. Maybe not the literal fastest, but way up there. This daily is really a treat. I'm sorry I missed yesterday's. Apparently yesterday's daily was a lost daily. A lot of people... Ooh, I'll take it. A lot of people tweeted me that they won on that lost daily. And that's awesome. I love the hard lost dailies, even if, I end up dying on Mom or something like that. But, a lost daily that actually gives a lot of people the chance to compete is really cool, too. And it's definitely, like, a rarity in the collection of Afterbirth dailies, so I'm very positive about that. I wish that I'd had the opportunity to do it, but sadly I was not here. Yeah, I think it warrants a reroll. Eve's Mascara, I'm gonna say no. There have been times where I like Eve's Mascara, and our rate of fire is pretty good. But I'd say it's a little bit like Cursed Eye, where I'm coming around to the idea that for every oh, that was extremely stupid. For every one time that it's done something like nice for me, there've been like 4 or 5 times where it's fucked me a little bit. So and it's less fun. Like Cursed Eye at least gives you kind of an augmented tear effect that is kind of neat. Even if you don't like it, I think you can agree that oh, it's so good. Very glad I didn't take Eve's Mascara. I think you can agree that it gives you a cool tear effect, a charge shot, you know? Whereas Eve's Mascara basically just makes you fire more slowly, which always sucks. I guess I should use a reroll on Eve's Mascara then. Because there's like absolutely no risk that we don't make it to Hush. So we should really, like, on this one, if I want to compete with the Luke and Mathis, I have to really go to every single room. Take damage basically never. People are going to be like, why'd you take that? Well, oh my god. The odds of us getting another reroll that we could also use on that or a Deal with the Devil are pretty low. Just take this battery charge, give us peace of mind that we can use it on the boss fight. I mean, now, as I explained it, it's like one of those situations, you ever, like, you're 100% confident in, like, the answer you gave on a test or something, and then your teacher's like, hey, in so many words, what the fuck were you thinking? And then as you explain it, you go, well, it's just like, you know, of course the most efficient course of action would be if it just did it as fast as by 0, oh, never mind, I'm an idiot. Like, you just realize that you're dumb as you're saying it. Considering there was that battery charge available, I probably should not have gone for this. I think neither of these are as worth it as you might think. So, we'll pay double for Death's Touch, and then Ceremonial Robes is essentially free. Obviously, this is really good. Like, Death's Touch gives us the 1.5 extra damage. Ceremonial Robes, I do not know how much it does for us from a damage perspective, but it replaced 3 Spirit Hearts with Black Hearts, so I think that's a positive thing. Just blow this guy up and get more consumables out of it than we spent. And probably on the next floor, or maybe just before Hush, just before Hush, we probably end up using 2 of Spades. Ideally, you know, you need 9 keys, or 7 keys down there. This will take us to 10. I don't think we want to pick up Old Bandage, honestly. I think we just head down. Now, how does 22,000 compare to where Mathis is on today's daily? Honestly, beats me. But, I'm not on a run like this. I am out there to beat Mathis. Like, don't let me do the thing that's like, well, just as long as all the kids have fun today, it'll be good, you know? Like, that's a great attitude to have for child sports, or, like, recreational sports, and I mean that sincerely. But, you know, I do have a little bit of a competitive drive for stuff that I've devoted time to, and this is, like, this is a game that I've devoted a lot of time to, and I think that, you know, productive challenge can help, it can help sharpen an individual, not just within the context of, you know, the very thing that they're doing, but also on, like, maybe a more fundamental level. You know, it forces you to get out of your comfort zone, put yourself out there, and take risks that may not necessarily work out, but could cause you to elevate your game to a higher level. But I also recognize, you know, he's a good player. He had a great score on today's daily. It's an easy daily, and I don't mean that as a slight, but it's an easy daily, and he's ranked very well. And that's really good. And the same goes for Luke in that as well. You know, to rank well on an easy daily is a tough thing to do. It might be tougher in its own way. It's tougher in a different way than ranking well on a daily that's a little tricky. You know, a daily where, you know, you start as the Lost and then you fight the Haunt on the first floor. Maybe you get, you know, incredible advantages after that point. I don't want to fight the boss just yet because we might as well do a little bit more exploration and get as much of a bonus there as we can. A daily where there's like an early bottleneck and then it gets easy, you're going to filter out like 10% of people, 20% of people on that first floor automatically. It's not worth quite as much, I think, as ranking well on a daily that's a little trickier. Or, sorry, a little easier for everybody, because basically the pool of competition is just that much wider. We were lucky enough to have chosen basically the right way right off the bat here, so we'll not necessarily do a ton of exploration, but I'd feel really bad if I lost by like 1,000 points, and that 1,000 points wasn't related to walking into the poop that I walked into twice. If the 1,000 points was instead related to, hey, this lazy idiot, you know, talked a big game about competing, but then wasn't, you know, basically willing to dot the I's and cross the T's. When I was in, the kids these days, I know I ask these questions a lot about kids these days. But it's not to be a self-righteous, you know, elder statesman or something like that, which I don't fancy myself of or as at all. Do kids these days still learn cursive writing? Because that was like, I went to school around the same time that kind of home computers were becoming commonplace and the internet wasn't really a thing until I was in like 5th or 6th grade. It wasn't a thing that like 50% of your class had, at least until that point, you know. It got there pretty quickly, but we had to learn cursive writing, which is basically like a penmanship class. It's like a new way of writing that isn't printing, and they were always like, you're really gonna need this in university. The professors talk so fast. Definitely will not post their lecture notes online on some kind of mythical internet or something like that. Obviously, we'll just take Steven here. But the whole... Yeah, we'll take the soul here. The whole point of this conversation was that a classmate of mine... Probably re-roll those. Let's just see what's going on here first. And then I'll finish my train of thought. We don't need theirs options. I think we'll take Black Candle. And then we'll re-roll in here. And honestly, I think we'll take 10 bombs. And then we'll come in here, buy this, reroll. I don't want little baggy, then we'll buy this. Okay, that's fine. We'll probably pop the magician in here. Okay, good. Anyway, we had an assignment for cursive writing, which was a class in like 1st and 2nd grade. And you would lose marks if you didn't write in cursive writing for a while, which is, it now seems incredibly silly, because by 9th grade, you know, everything we did was typed. But, and it was like, hey, write like 10 lines, full lines of just cursive T, you know, the letter T over and over. And then we were 2nd grade, so we were like 7 or 8 years old. And then our teacher calls one of the kids up and she says, hey, Nikki, you're so fine when you blow my mind. No, it'd be highly inappropriate. It says, hey, Nikki, couldn't help but notice that, you know, you just made a bunch of loops that is like the base of the T. And then you had a ruler, and you drew the line through every single T at the same time. And, you know, that's not how we as adults do it with cursive writing, so I'm gonna give you, like, a bad mark on this. And she started crying. At the time, I was like, she's trying to take shortcuts, fuck that lady. I probably didn't say that, because I was, you know, 7 as well. But that was the general gist of things, I guess. That's bad damage, unfortunately. As I got older, I was like, damn, this is a straight shooter with middle management written all over. That's a genius strategy. It's a bullshit assignment. She completed it in a slightly more efficient way than everybody else. And you know what? She got individually recognized for it, although probably not in the way that she wanted. That's working hard and smart. Mathis just signed on to Afterbirth. I guarantee, man, this guy, people think, you know, some of the stories I say about Mathis are fabrications, and that's true. That's definitely true. However, he did go to bed at 8:30 every night at PAX, except for the one night that we went to bed early. He decided to stay up super late, because apparently if anybody watches him sleep, he becomes a vamp. I don't know. Anyway, sure, let's pick up Judas' Shadow, I guess. And also, every time I tweet about a daily that he's already done, I see him on Steam boot up Afterbirth to check his score to see if he beat me. I mean, I guess it's flattering in a way. At the same time, also, like, a little bit hilarious. Like, a minute after I tweet it, it'll be like, Mathis has opened up the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth, and I'm like, yeah, well, it's technically on Steam, it says Rebirth, but you know what I mean. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I get it. I just wait for the ESPN Power Rankings to come out every Monday, but I guess not everybody has that kind of mindset. I was gonna say discipline, but you know, in the context of this joke, that made no sense. Mathis, he's a good dude. I mean that sincerely, but he's like, I can't tell if he's my Kramer or if I'm his Kramer. You ever have that experience in your life? I'm like, are you the friend that's slightly offbeat and absurd, or are you the normal one and I'm the one who's a little bit offbeat and absurd, or are we both Kramers? I always fancy myself a little bit more as a Costanza, and that's not flattering. In fact, you know, if I'm being honest, there's probably a half-decent chance I'm mostly a Jerry. Most people don't want to be Jerry, because he's the most boring, well, him and Elaine, the most boring character, but, you know, I'm a pretty low-key guy most of the time. I think I might be a Jerry. I don't take offense to that. But everybody wants to be George, even though it's not flattering. Everybody wants to be Kramer, even though there's some, like, latent mental illness or something there. That was a terrible bomb. Anyway, I don't know. He's a good guy, though. We're friends. I rib him on occasion. Probably harder than I should. This is a moment of self-reflection. Can we hit... I don't want that. Can we hit 51,000 on this run? Well, let's see where we're at when we come down here. We're at 40, and you get... to become Guppy here. I totally forgot about the Guppy dream. We obviously haven't needed it, but... I mean, Empty Vessel for the invincibility could be good, but it's a little expensive. I think we'll take Succubus, which I quite like. Reroll the other two. Whore of Babylon and Maw of the Void. So, like, Maw of the Void is +1 damage, which is really good, and it can generate black hearts, but it would cost me points to pick it up and take my HP low enough to scare me. So, oh, Balls of Steel was right there. I probably pussed out a little bit there. I was a little bit of a big old baby for not taking Maw of the Void, but I went about as aggressively as I was comfortable with. Now we'll explore the entirety of the floor. So let's think about this logically. You get... how many points for Mega Satan? About 7,000. I know it's not quite 7,000, but we're just ballparking it here. So that would take us to 4,800, roughly. All other things being equal right now. Usually get about a 3,000 point bonus at the end, depending on your damage and exploration, I think. So... let's assume that we get that 3,000 points. That gives us another 10. Yeah, I mean, that does take us to roughly 51,000. I think, honestly, it's going to be really tight, though. And I think that's a testament to how well both Mathis and Luke played on this run. Even though I haven't seen their runs, because I don't have time to watch YouTube. Are you crazy? But thank you for your support. Oh, Tomo, you want to escape from the room? Okay, here you go, buddy. I know, it gets a little hot in here when Daddy's on fire, but, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I think it's a testament to how well they played. We got hit probably less than 10 times on this run. Yes, some of it was very preventable. In particular, you know, you look back on those 2 red hearts that I walked into and you say, well, like, that is super preventable. But I think, you know, it's an incredible luxury to be able to be like, wow, I wish I didn't take 2 horrible damage against those enemies like 5 floors ago. You know, if that's like your biggest regret, it's been a great run. Now, that doesn't mean that, you know, it's not going to be what costs us a chance to beat them on the leaderboards. I think it just, you know, you got to keep it in perspective a little bit. This has been a nice run. At least I didn't die on the first floor, which, you know, for a couple of seconds there, at least, it looked like could be plausible. Sure. You know what? We already have unlimited range. Polyphemus lowered our rate of fire to be able to tap shoot a little bit. Well, not really tap shoot, but be able to shoot a little bit is pretty good. I'll re-roll that, and it's not good. Like, Dark Matter actually could have been pretty nice for us, but I chose to not operate it, and that's okay. I thought it would be good because it would keep enemies close to us, but at the same time, Dark Matter, a lot like Eve's Mascara or Cursed Eye, and that the number of situations in which it's been kind to me is probably disproportionately low relative to the number of situations in which it's completely screwed me. Alright, time to fight Mega Satan. I don't know if we'll have a chance to outrank Mathis or Luke, but I think we'll be in the ballpark, and that's, you know, exciting in and of itself. A lot of other people probably did amazingly on today's daily as well, but I think I can be proud of my performance. The damage that I took that was preventable was very, very Northern Lion-y, would be the way that I would describe it. You know, walking into some red poop you did not need to walk into. It's a very me way to take damage, so at the very least I added my own little bit of character on this run. I think at this point it's fair to say this is probably, like, aggressively the most powerful run that has ever existed on a daily. And it's possibly not even the most powerful run that could have existed on this daily, because we didn't get Godhead. Alright, so we walk in here. We only got 48,000 points, so I'm actually, like, way back. Probably that 3,000 point damage. It's crazy, though, even with that 3,000 point damage penalty. I I didn't end up, well, actually, no, if you take that 3,000 damage penalty completely away, I would, I'd be competing there, but, maybe time? I don't know. Lots of unknowns on today's leaderboard for whatever reason. In any case, you know, kudos to Matheson and Luke for a great performance today. Yeah, okay. Obviously, like, not all of that seems legit. I'm just seeing, like, what the upper bounds of, like, the rational or reasonable runs could have been. I'm still pleased with that daily. I think we did relatively well. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to give your congrats to Matheson and Luke for great runs as well. But for now, thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed it, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. And, of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, I will see you next time. Have a good day. Have a good day.